Welcome everywhere to the Mineski Pro Gaming League, Season 7, Class S. It is still the group stage, but even then it's going to be a best of 3 between Xctn and Team Mineski. So in all honesty, it should be a great game, just two top Philippines teams going against each other, but Mineski, they have been looking extremely solid, and so far they have two 2-0 wins in the group. So them just advancing to the playoffs is almost a guarantee already, but Xctn, they need to win this one if they themselves want to advance here. But we're HeflaTV, your English coverage for this. I'm Couchor, and for some insight, I'm gonna be joined by Kefka, man. How are you doing?
Thank you, I'm doing good. It's pretty excited to... I haven't watched a lot of the Southeast Asia scene, so it's gonna be fun to see some games, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Southeast Asian games are, if maybe not on the highest level sometimes, at least they're entertaining as all hell, so they have that going for them. But Mineski, I have to say, from Mineski Pro Gaming League, the Season 7 finals, that happened a couple of weeks ago. They didn't make it to the final, but I think they ended as the 3rd place finish, so they were still pretty strong. And since it was only best of ones, like all the way through the playoffs mostly, didn't maybe get the best chance to like show themselves, but I think they should be still the top team in the Philippines, at least for now.
Yeah, from what I've seen, Mineski would be the at least favorites in this game, but not sure how even it is in that scene. So.
Yeah, it's really hard to call. It's just someday they perform, and well, Xctn also has like stability going for them in terms of their lineup, since they haven't changed roster like a hell of a lot. So that, at least for me, like stability is usually the thing that gets you towards victory in the end. But looking at the draft, Viper and Razor banned out by Mineski, whereas an IO and Queen of Pain by Xctn. So Xctn's bans are like the exact same as in the Western scene, whereas a Viper and the Razor ban is, I think you would never see, at least in the first phase, otherwise.
No, I've seen that in the Southeast Asian scene they really like Razor, a lot of teams, at least that I know. And I guess Viper falls in the same category, so they probably respect those two heroes quite a lot. And I think at least like the European scene and NA scene kind of likes Razor nowadays as well. Started picking up a bit, but not as much yet. We'll see if he becomes more popular.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably so. I mean, I know some certain players like legitimately hate Viper, for example, but it's an annoying hero to deal with for sure. But Xctn do pick up the first pick Undying. It's a hero that I have to say I don't see all that often, just because, well, it's mostly banned out. Do you think Undying is that strong to just pick it up as the first hero?
I think he's strong, but I don't think it's first pick worthy, because every time I see this happen, like Undying first pick and then Gyrocopter second pick from the other team, like every opening is like this. I feel like when Undying is through, like every game you see this happen, and then the third hero is not always Clockwork, but it's like every time this happens, and usually I think Gyro tends to win out, but not sure. Like there's not that many games in this patch yet, so I think it's pretty. Not sure like what hero is favorable in the matchup there.
Well, Xctn now on top of the Undying, picking up a Visage. Two of those heroes, if they somehow get themselves like a Trilane versus Trilane situation, they will be extremely strong. But I think Mineski, they will not want to just fight as a Trilane into an Undying Visage combination. Otherwise, Tombstone, just Soul Assumptions, way too much damage coming out that way. But Mineski already having the Clockwork. Is Skydive Mage even an option? I mean, I have seen Skydive Mage just decline in terms of how often he gets picked up so much. Is Skydive Mage still viable, or do you only pick it in situations where you're like up against the Queen of Pain or Storm Spirit or something like that, where you really need the silence?
I don't think you should pick him up at all unless it's a really like counter pick to maybe like with the silence or a really good setup with ultimate. But like the Glimmer Cape really counters that hero now, which is a reason he's not picked as much. And then he's so low armor, and like he can get died really hard. Like there's a lot of heroes like Undying, for example, like that can just go very early, like level 2, level 3. They just can get kills on everyone, and Skyref has no defensive capabilities at all, so she's gonna be killed very fast. Undying can use like 1 DK, 2 zombies on the Skyref, and that hero is dead already, and then you're 2 versus 3 immediately. So it's pretty hard to play, at least in a Trilane, because especially now with Undying, like you can always go for the Trillian, even though you don't have the best heroes with Undying. It's always strong.
Yeah, that's true enough for sure. And well, second set of bans. Mineski have taken out a Drow Ranger as well as a Witch Doctor, whereas Execration, Earthshaker and Storm Spirit banned. I mean, Drow Ranger, it's just a Drow Visage combination that is so sick, although it did get nerfed, I think, with the Familiar and the Precision Aura, how it interacts with each other, but even then, it's just so strong early mid-game.
Yeah, I think Visage is one of the strongest heroes right now, at least support heroes, like with the change to his Familiars not being one-shot by heroes like Gyro anymore, and even if they nerfed his Familiars together with Drow a bit, it's still very strong. You can, like, the hero is so strong if he gets Aghanims, like those. He's pretty much a carry. Like if you have Drow in your team and you have Visage, Visage is mostly gonna do the majority of right clicks with his birds. So it's a really strong combo still.
Yeah, now for Mineski, they're taking a really long time to just pick their third hero. Is there a certain one that just comes to mind for you which they should go for? I mean, at the moment, for example, they are lacking supports.
Yeah, usually we see Shen comes out with is pretty popular in every scene right now, but usually we can see some like Shadow Demon coming out, some defensive heroes, or like a hero like Earthshaker who has been banned here, but teams really like to have one defensive support nowadays. Like Shadow Demon has become very popular in the last maybe just week, but seems to be really good. But it's really hard to pick against Undying, because if you pick two weak lanes, you can get run over in the lanes, and then you have no way of coming back. So it's really hard to draft against an Undying. That's pretty much the reason why he's so picked.
So, if you were Execration at the moment, already having an Undying and Visage, do you go like more all out on the early mid game just phase? Or do you also just try to buckle down and get some late game heroes?
I think I would try and pick up a Bounty here, because Bounty is so good against Shen, and you can also put a lot of pressure with Bounty and Undying. So you can have Undying offlane and a Bounty support. Of course now the Beastmaster picked up, so it might change a bit. But he could still go mid, and they could still pick up a Bounty and do what I said, which I think would be a great option for them, because Shen we have seen Shen having so much trouble against the Bounty recently.
I mean, it's something that was used a little bit by certain teams a really long time ago when Bounty Hunter was popular, just going for the dual offlane kind of style, with the Bounty Hunter just being in the jungle, messing up like Enigma and Chen and whatnot. These days, of course, maybe not as popular, but Bounty Hunter definitely on the rise in terms of just like getting picked up by teams experimenting, playing with him. As for now though, Mineski, picking up a Rubik, a couple of good spells to steal, Primal Roar, the best one probably from the Beastmaster. I mean, Telekinesis maybe doesn't have like that much effect, but well, Execration now, a Shadow Fiend for them. So they have two auras, the Inner Beast from the Beastmaster for the attack speed, the Minus Hammer from the Presence of the Dark Lord for Shadow Fiend. So if they ever want to go for Roshan, also one of their team members will probably also pick up a Medallion, maybe a full Solar Crest even.
Yeah, Execution's lineups looks really solid in all stages of the game right now. With like Undying kind of pulls off in late game to an extent, but still with Visage, Beastmaster, Shadow Fiend, I don't think it will be a problem for them to go to late game. Like Shen will also fall off a bit, so for the side of Mineski. So I really like Execration's lineup right now, and the Rubik pick from Mineski is a bit weird. Rubik can be very good, but he doesn't fit that well. He's okay with his team, but he doesn't steal any really good spells. Like it's pretty hard to get Roar, and like Undying Tombstone is what you look for, and other than that there's nothing really good.
Yeah, it's like Requiem of Souls, Rubik not the hero to just go in and channel it next to somebody, well he's just gonna die otherwise. But we'll see Mineski, maybe they're gonna go for like even more pushing somehow, although considering the heroes that they have, maybe they don't have the best just positions to go for one. Let's say they wanted to go for Lycan, it would mean it's either gonna be like a Gyro, or Gyro mid I guess isn't that bad, maybe even go for max homing missile against Shadow Fiend, something like that, but for Mineski, what hero do you see them picking up?
I feel like if this was in Europe, I think they would pick up a DK right now, but I'm not sure if it's played. Oh, Bloodseeker.
This is definitely not Europe.
Yeah, this is very interesting. I think actually I saw Ninjas in Pyjamas play it yesterday, and it did quite a lot of work, even though they lost in the end. Spoilers. But it's very interesting hero, and I really like to see it in play because it really like in mid game if he can really do a lot of damage and just maybe even tear apart everyone.
Yeah, in all honesty, Xctn, apart from the Beastmaster Primal Roar, they don't really have any form of lockdown, and Bloodseeker, he probably is gonna be fast enough to dodge familiar stuns as well. Or, well, rather the familiars just not being able to keep up with the Bloodseeker to begin with. So, the lack of lockdown may work in Mineski's favor at the moment for sure. But the thing is, they have a Chen now, but they don't have like a massive amount of push on top of that. So, do they just rely on getting a pick-off with the Bloodseeker Rupture first and then going for the push?
I think they should try and not push too much. Like, Xctn has pretty good like defense in like Undying Tombstone is very good at defending. If they overextend just a slight and he puts it down at a good position, it's gonna be really hard. So I hope Shen goes for a bit of more a ganking style than a farming style. We've seen a bit of both recently, with some Shens really favoring farming and some really favoring ganking, and I hope he tries and get the early advantage by maybe finding a gank on the Shadow Fiend or something like that, because Xctn does not have a good defensive support to save the lanes in Earthshaker or Shadow Demon or Dazzle, something like that. So I think they could get a good advantage if Shen makes some good rotations.
But with Mineski, with their 5 heroes there, how do you see their lanes? Is it still gonna be the Charcopter mid now and Bloodseeker farming safe lane, or do they really send the Bloodseeker against the Shadow Fiend?
I'm not sure. I think they might put the Bloodseeker mid. It's really hard to say. I think Gyrocopter is not the best midder, even though his rocket can be really good, or his homing missile, I mean. But usually people just buy an extra tank or salve and then baller through it. And I think Bloodseeker could actually stand up against Shadow Fiend pretty good. But on the other hand, Gyrocopter could gank a bit better with the Shen in mid, so I would prefer if the Gyro was mid, but I think it could work out with Bloodseeker mid as well.
Yeah, Cuckoo, I know, is usually the mid lane player for Mineski at the moment, although I'm not sure what happened to Jay even. I had like him having some real life problems, so he couldn't attend MPGL, but that was a couple of weeks ago. Still playing with Cuckoo though, but it's working out for them, so it's fine that way. But the Xctn, last pick Axe for them, so how do they even run this? Is it just safe lane farming Axe, or does he go into the jungle and they have Undying farming the safe lane, or what?
I think it's gonna be Beast mid, Shadow Fiend safe lane, and Axe off lane. That would be my guess. Because Axe can go, Undying can play with Axe on bottom lane as well, possibly then. And it could be a really strong dual lane. And like Shadow Fiend is not the most common safe laner, but it's not weak at all. Like when he gets the early souls, which he will get in safe lane, he can go jungle pretty early if he gets a ball and just go for top rune and then just jungle, so it leaves the lane for Visage as well pretty early, which is usually what the teams tend to do.
Yeah, actually, I'm a big fan of just running core heroes that can go into the jungle early on, instead of running like a straight out jungler from the start. That way, the early lane presence is still gonna be there, and then you just swap out, have the support take over the lane, get farm, get XP, while the enemy offlaner is already under leveled because of the early pressure. But just to introduce the teams as well, for the side of Xctn, we are gonna have Primo on the Shadow Fiend, BGO1 on the Undying, Fox to play the Axe with Chemo on the Visage, and the last one is gonna be Yui playing the Beastmaster, heading towards the safe lane for now.
I'll go through the missions and skip from left to right with Jesse Wash on the Clockwork, and 5593 Ova maybe on the Shen, and Jules on Gyrocopter here, and Rubik played by G. And lastly we have Cuckoo here on the Bloodseeker being chased by Boar. Slowed quite a lot, but doesn't look like he will get caught.
Yeah, he's just fast enough, or at least I'd say maybe Xctn was too slow in following up there. They really don't have the best ganking lineup, to be honest, early on. Axe like needs to get in range for a Berserker's call if they really want to get a kill, just because the Boar slow by itself just isn't enough. They don't have proper stuns to follow up. But at the moment, there is another Boar already created, so they just want to secure themselves bounty runes if they can. Although Undying might be in some trouble, has to decay, but Jules gets close with the Rocket Barrage, telekinesis as well. What the hell was the Undying doing there solo? Although, can he outrun them? No, I don't think he can.
No, I think it looks like he's gonna go down, but maybe he can get a trade if they're lucky. Actually, he's tanking quite a lot and he's almost faster than Gyro.
Man, those decay stacks just keeping him alive, getting the +4 strength so many times. And first blood was thrown by Execration onto the Rubik instead. I really didn't think it's gonna go that way, but Execration just had a little bit more manpower, I suppose. Going for the Shadow Races on level 1 as well on Primo, although that does mean that his Shadow Mastery stacks will be coming a little bit later. And with that, Bloodseeker can just abuse his early extra damage and just deny and as well as last it away from the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, Bloodseeker is one of the best last history in level 1 because he has like 80 damage at level 1 with his first spell, and he can really dominate their last hits, and it can be hard for Shadow Fiend to make a comeback after that. But we see the somewhat offensive tri lane here with the axe and dying like I mentioned, but Visage is also down here trying to harass the Shen a bit, also kinda participating in the tri lane.
And this is going to be a pretty bad lane for Chul like this. I mean, Gyrocopter just doesn't have too much range as well to be at a safe distance for the most time. But as long as the telekinesis is there, I think Chul should be able to outrun them. Although Grave Chill, is it there? No, not yet. So once Chemo hits level 2, oh, mid lane Cuckoo already gets a kill, I have to say. Didn't expect it coming out this early.
I was paying a bit attention top lane, which is actually quite a lot of action, and Beast now he's gonna fall back. But there's a lot of action on lanes going on already. Clockwork almost down, and Shadow Fiend going down to the Bloodseeker very early.
So, looking at the top lane, Clockwork versus Beastmaster, I mean, Beastmaster to be honest is a pretty strong laner because you have good base damage, you have some pretty solid base armor as well to really just go for that man fight, and the board helping out every now and then, but how well does Clockwork match up against Beastmaster normally?
Clockwork can stand his ground pretty well, but Beast will outfarm him for sure. I would be very surprised if Beastmaster does not lead in last hit throughout the lane, and maybe even force him the Clockwork back if he does not purchase a bottle. Beastmaster is pretty damn strong in the lane right now. If he micros his board correctly, just wait for level 6, then he can get an easy kill.
Well, we have Chen now also going into the enemy jungle, just a little bit afraid of Execrations just unlying and Visage showing up, I suppose. Top lane Chisiva just keeps on taking harassment. He goes under the tower, he just doesn't care, but the battery cell cogs as well. But he dies a little bit beforehand, although Yui might die himself. Nope, gets rid of the creep aggro and will be just fine. Although Chen, he snipes the courier. That's a pretty huge deal, although the bottle is still on Primo, so he didn't lose the bottle. But even then, just so much gold early on.
Yeah, it's they need to help the Shadow Fiend here to get the bottom runes at minute 4, otherwise it's gonna be very hard for him to lane here. And they might be looking.
Jules, Berserker's Call is there, already battle hungered up. Undying wants to come in from behind, pops the tombstone just in case. And, well, that was just an easy kill, although mid lane. Oh, Telekinesis, Bloodright will connect. No, never mind. I thought the Telekinesis pulled him back into it, but doesn't really matter. They get the kill regardless. Cuckoo drops a little bit low, but he's gonna be just fine for now, and just really action-packed early game.
Yeah, it's looking like a pretty fun game so far. And the dive, this Gyrocopter is kind of getting thrown to the wolves a bit. Actually, might be able to pick up the Axe on bottom lane. Axe has boots though, so it looks like he will get out together with Undying here. Or Yulsis using his flag cannon, and it's gonna be very close.
Oh, Ruby came in, helped to clean them up, but BGO1 just getting the decay stacks once more mid lane. Oh, Cuckoo! He wanted to run down Primo, but unable to do so with the help of the Visage there. Man, I told you at the beginning of the draft that we may not have the cleanest of plays in Southeast Asia, but damn is it exciting all the time.
This is good, this is how it should be played. This is why I also, this looks very similar to the CIS scene, which I love as well. So this is looking like a very good game. But we see on top lane, Beastmaster is dominating completely, and I think if Beastmaster gets, I hope he goes for the Necrobook, which is the most popular build. If he gets an early Necro, I think I can solo kill anyone on the side of Mineski. And Shen has been found out now in his own jungle, but doesn't look like Visage can do much.
Yeah, it doesn't really have any mana either to properly follow up on anything, but you can see Visage already having purchased a Flying Courier, so as soon as it respawns, it's gonna be flying. And killing a Flying Courier is actually pretty hard, although Bloodseeker, if somebody is low on the map and him having the extra movement speed due to Thirst, he can still run down just the Flying Courier as well, unless there's a speed burst.
Yeah, and Bloodseeker being very low, but then just decides to go jungle, and he gets probably up to full HP from just these 3 creeps. Yeah, this is why this hero is pretty good in lane. He can always sustain himself, even in, especially on the Radiant side there. If he goes low, he goes to the jungle camp, just uses his Blood Rage and then his full HP immediately and can go back to mid lane.
I mean, you can just see that at the moment that he is kind of dominating the mid lane as well. Of course, them getting the early kills onto the Shadow Fiend definitely helped out. But there's the Blood Rage, Rupture as well. Primo can't really run, but then again, he can still do quite a bit of damage as long as he isn't silenced. And Couchor being as low as he is, can't really go run into them. Although BGO1 comes in on the Undying, but well, he's just giving extra movement speed to Bloodseeker anyway. Although we have Chen coming in from behind, he's low on mana himself. He does get the ensnare onto Primo, the stun to follow, and Couchor will come in. Well, Fateball does steal the kill, but doesn't really matter. BGO1 is the one to go down. Telekinesis up onto Chemo, no Soul Assumption anymore, no mana. And that's just 3 heroes down. Fox comes in on the Axe, but not level 6. Can't really chase down anybody by himself.
Yeah, pretty cocky play from Shen here, going in 1 versus 3 under the tower. But unfortunately, the teammate comes in time, so they get 3 kills. And that was pretty damn good for Mineski. Getting kills on Shadow Fiend this early means a lot, because that hero can really get out of control if you let him farm. And it's because of Shen, also because of defensive tri-lanes, and Shen being in his opponent's jungle. There's no stacks for Shadow Fiend to make a really big boost of gold here, so he's gonna have a hard time to make a good comeback here.
Yeah, well, at least Shadow Fiend is the type of hero that can make a comeback. Although, like I said, usually you see Shadow Fiends, like, at least from the most games I've seen, is even if the team with the Shadow Fiend is losing in general, the Shadow Fiend still has lots of farm. Yeah, that's how it usually happens.
Yeah. He's probably gonna be able to pick up item. Not sure what he's gonna go. Mech has been very popular recently, and I think he's gonna go for it. Julius has kind of fallen off after the change. It's still seen, but Mech has been the primary option for the Shadow Fiends now.
To be honest, I've never been a huge fan of the Yule's build, although you can definitely make some flashy plays with it. I just prefer, like... To be honest, I really like seeing, not old school maybe, but just normal Shadow Fiends, like treads, drums into BKB, something like that. But it really depends on the game as well. At the moment though, Jessivash is level 6, so top lane, he's gonna get caught, runs into Fox, Axe, does have the Berserker's Call to just keep Clockwork in place, Grave Chill with the slow to follow Soul Assumption as well. He needs the hookshot, he needs to get the Cogs, but he's unable to do so, so Fox sets up the kill, although he's gonna lose his life probably himself. Just ruptured up, Couchor comes in with quite a bit of damage. So it's gonna be a 1-for-1, or rather 2-for-1, as the Undying died as well in the meantime to the Gyrocopter.
Yeah, it was a big kill for the Gyro to get a solo kill on Undying. That means a lot for him, because he was kinda getting... He was pretty underfarmed, but that solo kill means he's gonna make even top 2 net worth now, thanks to that kill.
Wow. Now that I look at the net worth, it's just all Couchor, all the Bloodseeker, and he has gone for drums. So I suppose he's not satisfied with his mass movement speed anyway, he just needs more.
Yeah, drums has been become very popular now, I think, with the change to the charges, and like I see every game now at least one drums being picked up. For a while there was like no one picked up drums at all, but with this new patch it has become a primary option for a lot of heroes that used to go with before somewhat, but then just stopped because it was too weak in comparison to Sanchiasha.
I mean, I think like drums is an item that you should always have one on your team. It's like a mech and drums, it's like items you need. Urn of Shadows is also pretty nice in all honesty, but there is a 3-man smoke now by Mineski. Do they go like the long way around and come from the tier 2, or do they go mid lane instead with this gank?
I think they would try and look for anyone that tries to defend the tower, but it's gonna be hard. I'm not sure if they have TPs on the side of Execration, and they're gonna try and go, but the creeper is in the wave of Clockwork here.
Oh, he still gets the hookshot though. Power Cogs push out the Yui. Primo does get pushed out as well. Jessivash gets stunned under the tower, but should be just fine now. Although he is slow with Battle Hunger there. If he gets Berserker's Call, he's probably gonna die. But they've already lost 2 on the side of Execration. Fox misses the Berserker's Call. Couchor, he's gonna just easily chase down Yui. And well, Axe, he might get the kill with the help of Primo. Yes, they get the dunk, and with the extra movement speed, he might even get Geo on top of that. Berserker's Call cooling off, but there's a telekinesis. Where's the Bloodseeker though? He just wants Primo, and they're gonna get it with the help of Jules. A TP comes in, but Chemo, well, he just TP to his death. The Familiars might even die here as well, although Berserker's Call buys some time, but the cooldown came out before, and that's just gonna be another hero down.
Oh, Jules stealing the rampage from Cookie here. I feel bad for him.
That bastard, man, that bastard.
That was a dieback from the Shadow Fiend. He bought back, TP'd back, and died almost immediately. He only got one race off, then he realized he had to run from the Bloodseeker, but that cost a lot for Execration. They're gonna lose at least one tower here. Actually, they will be able to defend it, looks like. I'm surprised, but it's still very bad for them.
Yeah, he's just losing so many, and the Shadow Fiend, he was having a poor game as it is. Just look at his items. A bottle, Wraith Band, Magic Wand, and just normal boots, just brown boots, not even upgraded ones. Whereas, looking at the Bloodseeker, Drums now has a Chainmail as well. Chainmail is going to be excellent against the Shadow Fiend minion. Those Shadow Races so far have been mostly the only thing that the Bloodseeker has to be afraid of, but now you can just use those Shadow Races against the Shadow Fiend.
It's a great item on the Bloodseeker, because you take more damage, but you do more damage, so it reflects even more, and like it's such a perfect item on that hero. It really fits the style of the hero. And I think they really need to try and make a smoke hang on this Bloodseeker on the side of Execration. They need a pick-off, and they really need to kill him, because it's a lot of gold into him right now, and if they get the kill on him, they could make a good comeback on the Shadow Fiend here.
By the way, what do you think of Bloodseeker's ultimate in general? Is it like normal in strength, or because the duration feels like way too long? Although Jules is gonna get caught in the jungle, familiars will follow up with some damage, Primal Roar as well, so they are gonna lose Jules there, but he's staying alive for a pretty long time.
And it looks like Couchor is gonna initiate there and getting a 2-man cog.
That was a big mistake, it looks like. He just went in, he almost got the kill with the Wild Axes stolen by Rubik. They do get the kill, but it's a 2 for 2 for now. Rupture comes in as well. BJ1, is he tanky enough in that Flesh Golem state of his? Uses the Soul Rip, but Cuckoo pops the Chainmail, gonna chase him down. Rupture, you just can't outrun them. 12-second duration. I still think it's too long of a duration. You just cannot move while it's on you.
Yeah, it's a pretty long, the duration is pretty long, but it doesn't do that much damage, at least on level 1. I guess it scales really quite a lot, I mean. But it's, I don't know, this hero seems like a hero that can get a lot of work if he gets the slide advantage. Like, I've seen this hero in pubs now recently. Like a lot of heroes, a lot of the players tend to favor this hero to try and climb in MMR, and it's like he doesn't need that much. And then like when 50-minute mark hits and the team fights begin, he just starts getting like triple kill and ultra kills every game. Like I've seen him, and it seems like the hero might be somewhat of broken.
Do you think that Bloodseeker, being as he is, and from the games we've seen of him, is it gonna be like a hero that's gonna get more utilized in the TI5 qualifiers, just leading up to TI5 itself?
Right now, I think it's gonna look like Bloodseeker will be one of the heroes that will make a showing, so to speak. Because it seems like some teams have started picking up, and it seems like it's really strong. Like, for example, this game, like a clear showing of how strong this hero can be.
His KDA 10, 1, and 4 at the moment.
And he laned against a Shadow Fiend, which is like one of the strongest one-on-oneers in the mid lane. And Chen didn't help him out that much, and he still got an early kill and dominated the lane.
Yeah, it's just probably maybe him using the inexperience of the Shadow Fiend playing against the Bloodseeker, for example. I mean, because I think it was level 2 when he got the first kill there. So sometimes it's like matchups you're not used to, you don't really know the power spikes of the enemy hero that well. So, but Couchor really feels comfortable on that hero, and at the moment does have a Sange. Is it gonna be the SNY, or is it gonna be building into the Silver Age?
I think it's gonna be an SNY, would be what I expected at least. It's not impossible that it builds a Silver Age. It's always good to have some kind of invest in your team, so it forces the opponent to have Dust or Sentries.
Oh, the hookshot into the Radiant creep though. Flesh Golem already popped on the Undying, gets the Tombstone down. Jules trying to back off, but gets Blink Berserker's Call. Look at the damage output, but Mech with the Hand of God is even getting sent back. I think, no, never mind, no sent back. But they're just cleaning up. Couchor, he's way too fast. 500 plus movement speed. Well, as heroes die, his movement speed drops as well, but there's the Primal Roar. Couchor, is he gonna die here? I have my doubts about it, although he's dropping pretty damn low. Needs to get rid of the familiar somehow, but he's gonna lose his life. So Visage gets a huge bounty from that kill, but it's still only one kill for just the entire team.
It was a price that Execution didn't really want to pay, but they got the Bloodseeker, and Visage got a lot of gold, which I guess is good. But
he got 1200 gold from that kill.
Yeah, it was a lot of gold to him. And but they lost another tower, and Mineski just controlling this game completely, and this Bloodseeker is doing some heavy lifting right there. It's like diving the tower 1 versus 3, just 2 attacks on every hero, and he got triple kill almost.
It's just Execration not having the necessary farm to withstand this kind of a Bloodseeker, to be honest. And not only that, there's just quite a bit of AoE damage going around anyway. Rocket Flare is maxed out. No, not quite maxed out on the Clockwork, but...
Oh.
Gyro, he gets a solo kill on the Shadow Fiend. Man, this Shadow Fiend just not having a good game.
It's this Garcot is doing pretty well. Like he's had a kind of a hard game in comparison to his teammates, but he still finds these solo pickups. The second one now on the bottom lane, it's pretty impressive, I would say actually.
Yeah, just really Jules. For a good reason, he is one of the so-called top stars in the Southeast Asian scene, or at least in the Philippine scene for sure. But at the moment, he's gonna have a BKB soon-ish, just needs about 1k more for the recipe of the BKB. But if you look at the graphs, there's a 12,000 plus net worth lead, XP nearing the 12k mark as well. If you're Execration, what is your game plan at the moment? Do you try to just split push a little bit more with the Beastmaster now? He does have a Necro level 1, although it's not that strong, or do you just maybe smoke and try to get a pick off with the Blink initiation by Axe?
They need to get a pick. I think they should smoke. They really should look for a kill on this Bloodseeker. Actually, the last fight that went top, we saw Beastmaster come up very late. I think if Beastmaster had been there from the beginning, and when Bloodseeker dived the tower, I think if he had been there, I think they could actually have turned that fight and got a kill of Bloodseeker very early. So I think it's a lot up to this Beastmaster to get the roar on Bloodseeker when he's trying to dive and like go a bit too far maybe.
Yeah, especially if Couchor himself is blood raged at the same time, just taking a little extra damage. That's where they need to strike. But oh, they get the hook shot, but the 4-step comes out on the BGO1. He does get the tombstone down, but well, he just dies too fast. Tombstone just gonna get farmed up. Familiars also lose their lives here, and there is a resummon in 15 seconds for Couchor. He wants to go for more, gets the rupture, but Chemo just TPs out. That is really the one counter to a Bloodseeker, just TP.
Yeah, it's a only way to deal with him. At least when he's alone, you can always TP out, which is good. Bloodseeker doesn't. We have seen some Yule spill on him earlier, but this like I think the Blade Mail build has become the standard on him right now, because it's like it works so well together with the hero. So there's no reason to pick up a Yule instead. And going both items is a bit becomes a bit bad, because 2 cheap items, and if you get the kills, you're gonna have a used 2 item slots are not that efficient.
Yeah, and now they're just gonna go for Roshan, and the thing is, that for Mineski, when they picked up the Bloodseeker, it wasn't even like an all-out pick or anything, just because they also had the Gyro for late game insurance if the Bloodseeker doesn't really work out. So Mineski went for a pretty balanced draft, although Execration smoked up now. Can they get the Blink Berserker Skull? Nope, Age is already picked up on Couchor, but there's the Blink Berserker Skull, still catches 3 heroes! The stuns did follow up though, but Fox is just gonna lose his life almost straight after. And now Cooldown will land on Chemo. I think Chesivash, he's just chasing down one hero on Shadow Fiend. He's on the run, but I think he's gonna get chased down. They have vision of him after all with the Thirst. Hand of God, keeping their heroes alive. Primo goes for the Wrecking of Souls, gets pushed back by the Power Cox afterwards. Couchor, is he fast enough? I don't think so, because only one hero is alive to provide Thirst for him. But
he might go for this. Yeah, I think he wants to. Actually, I think he's gonna get it. He has ultimate still, so.
Man, the range of that.
Yeah, that was a, I think, good attempt by Execration. Like, they had to take that fight. I think that was the best chance in the Roche pit there with a tombstone down, and then the Axe getting a pretty good Berserker's Call. But there's no like real good follow-up. They
need like a Blink Dagger on Shadow Fiend with the Wrecking of Souls follow-up.
They need a Blink BKB on Shadow Fiend to go in there and get the ultimate off, but he's not even close to his first item yet.
And they're losing even more heroes. Another cooldown comes out. Couchor just pops the Blade Mail. They farm up another tombstone, got stolen even by Geo's Rubik there, and that's gonna be first set of racks. And I really think Execration, it's getting to a point where there's no way for them to just win this game, so just tap out, call the GG.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be very hard for them to make a comeback. If the Bloodseeker didn't have Aegis, I think they could take a fight and maybe get something. Actually, they go on G here, and I think they will get him. And it's a gem actually, so that's a big deal if they get it, but...
Well, they're probably not, because, well, Couchor has arrived, they get Fox, Jules does get stunned up but had a BKB, they get the hookshot onto Primo as well. Couchor will come in from the side, just a few attacks, another easy kill. BGO1, I think he bought back on the Undying, not too sure, but they're just cleaning up. Fox definitely bought back, but They just lack the damage to kill off those somewhat tanky heroes by now. And almost another complete team wipe.
Almost a rampage again. Cuckoo wanted the Necromonicon instead of the rampage for some reason. I'm a bit disappointed. But I think this game...
What a new carry player, man.
Yeah. I think this is gonna be very hard now. I thought with the Ruby kill and getting gem, I actually saw a glimmer of hope. And then I saw Bloodseeker running in together with Gyro beaking me. I was like, nope.
Yeah, for a second I was like, oh, a nice pickup indeed, but it's just reaction time for Mineski was way too fast. The movement speed and Cuckoo, yes, 7,500 gold. What do you even go for? Of course, it probably doesn't matter what you get. Unless you go for a rapier, you lose it. But even then, Xctn doesn't have like the greatest heroes to like utilize a rapier.
Yeah, he's gonna buy Radiance, it looks like. But I don't know if it's a legit item or not. Like, I'd really like to see this game go further just to see what it builds. Because then it would be like, okay, what is actually legit on this hero? And I don't think Radiance... I think Radiance could be good, but I think it's too expensive in the normal case.
What's his gold per minute even? Almost 900. Flatseeker. I was like, he's getting a Radiance. He has already so many items. It's only 21 minutes in another Rupture. He just wants more hasty ages as well, but he's just steering clear of the fight. Now he's gonna go in when he can secure himself some kills, get the Blood Rage heal from that kill, of course. Although Requiem of Souls, the Death Requiem did quite a bit. Fox in some trouble, gonna get hogged in, and Jules, well, he's dropping low on the Charcopter, but the Cull was already used on Axe, so he can't use that ultimate anymore. And they will secure some kills. Jules gets taken down by the zombies, I think it was, but Yui, Primal Roar stolen. Cuckoo even goes for a Dagon next, well, just because he can.
Face tank in a fountain. You want to give some gold to Beastmaster so he looks better at the end screen.
What a nice guy, man. What a nice guy.
Yeah, I think this game is
I'm
over
not
now.
sure if I've ever seen this high of a goal per minute this early on in a game, to be honest.
I'm not sure if I've seen a hero having more kills per minute at 20 minutes.
That's true indeed. I mean, 900 plus goal per minute, 24 kills in 22 minutes.
I hope they win before minute 24, so he has more kills the minute when the game screen ends, when the game screen shows.
They will go for more kills, so it might happen. Although Bloodseeker not buying back, doesn't want to lose any gold, I suppose, and well, couldn't go for Boots of Travels anyway, even if it did. But Xctn just, they don't want to call GG. They just, I don't know, they just want to kill some people, see how much gold they get from those massive kills. I don't know.
Yeah, I think both teams just having a bit of fun right now.
Wow. Fox, he does jump in, but yeah, it's just not happening. And the net worth lead is 40,000 at the moment. 30k in XP. How high? Bloodseeker only level 18 as well, so not even that high in levels. They get the UE Primal Roar. It's always fun as a Rubik to use just enemy ultimates against the hero himself from who you stole it. Oh, Cuckoo. He's gonna go for more, but he dies before he gets Undying down. So Cuckoo just losing value here.
Yeah, he's feeding a lot right now. But I don't know, this game was very impressive showing, especially from the Bloodseeker here. And I think Jules actually impressed me quite a lot as well with the solo kills that he kind of really needed to make a comeback. And I think he would have been all Bloodseeker if he didn't get those kills, but we saw Gyrocopter doing a lot of work in the team fights thanks to his 2 pick-up on Undying and Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, so all in all, Mineski just as a team played pretty well at the moment. Chen maybe not as effective with early rotations or anything, but still the Hand of God, the mech helping out in certain situations to just keep their teammates alive. Rubik getting some nice telekinesis early on, and Clockwork as well. Some pretty decent hook shots, but it was just Execration unable to get lift off on their lineup, kind of. Shadow Fiend just getting shut down was already morally disturbing for them. Axe did get a reasonably timed Blink Dagger, but it's just Mineski, they were too fat, too early, I suppose. But guys, this is a best of 3, so we're gonna have one more chance. And by the way, Bloodseeker, 911 is his goal per minute. That was timed. He just calculated it with the end of the game, 911. But in any case, guys, we are gonna be back with game number 2 in a few short minutes, so stay tuned and don't go anywhere.